All right guys, so today we're gonna look at a pretty interesting pair of truly wireless earbuds. And it's coming from a company that does things a little bit differently than most other companies. The product we're gonna look at is the House of Marley Liberate Air. And so this is a pair of truly wireless earbuds that retailed for $150. So already that's putting it up there in a higher price tier, especially considering that I think most of your better values are usually in that $50 to $100 range. But let's check out some of the materials, the specs, and what comes inside the box to see if it's worth the $150. Now, as far as the materials go, this is where I think House of Marley does things a little bit differently. They use a lot of things that are used in nature, and they used recycled products. So this pair specifically uses bamboo and recycled aluminum. So as far as looks go, these stand out compared to most other truly wireless earbuds out there. Now, as far as specs go, this does have Bluetooth 5.0, and it has aptX and AAC playback. So right out of the box, you're getting some of the best Bluetooth audio that you can get. And as far as connection goes, I noticed with a lot of other reviewers that reviewed these in the beginning had some connection issues, but I am happy to report that right out of the box, I didn't have any kind of connection issues. I didn't have lag issues. So I'm not sure if this is something that they fixed through an update, but it is something I didn't experience. Now moving on to the IP rating. These are IPX4 water resistant, which to me, especially considering the price tag, I think is more on the lower end of water resistant. So they are sweat and splash resistant, but I think considering the amount that you're paying, this is gonna be a pair you're going to have to be a little bit more careful with. Now, as far as what comes inside the box, you get the usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips. And I do want to point out that usually I don't have any issue getting a good seal out of most ear tips that come with earbuds, but for some reason, I could never get a good seal with these, so I had to kind of resort to another pair of ear tips that I'm used to using with another pair of earbuds, and then that fixed the issue. Now, as far as your charging cable, it is USB-C, and it is a very nice fabric material, and it has a really nice design. They used to use this on their headphone cables that they had for their headphones in the past. And it's nice to know that they stuck to this type of design. Now, speaking of the charging cable, the battery life is really impressive. You get 9 hours individually, and you're gonna get around 32 hours with the case. But the most impressive part here is if you pick them up and they're dead, a 10-minute charge is gonna get you around 4 hours of use. And honestly, that's some of the best quick charge battery life I've seen on a pair of truly wireless earbuds. Now moving on to the case, I feel like this is where the design of these really start to stand out because it is a very slim profile case, but the material they used on the outside kind of reminded me of old fabric that was on speakers. And then you have the House of Marley logo on this aluminum like clasp looking thing on the front. Next to that, you can see the 4 indicator lights to let you know how much battery life the case has. And then on the back where your charging port's located, they actually use the flap that I've seen on other cases that I'm normally not a huge fan of. Now, when you open the case, that's where you start to see the bamboo that they've used. And it really does stand out in contrast to the black of the case. And I love to see that they also use that design on the earbuds. Now, where you see the bamboo on the earbuds themselves, that's where your touch controls are located. And it controls everything but the volume, which I know you can summon your smart assistant to control the volume, or you can just pull out your phone, but I'm one that just prefers that all of the controls be located on the earbuds themselves. And for those of you that just like to use one earbud at a time, you'll be happy to know that you can use either the left or the right. And you'll also be happy to know that this is one of the better mics that I've heard on a pair of truly wireless earbuds. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. All right, guys, so here is a mic test of the House of Marley Liberate Air. As I said, I think this is one of the better microphones that's on a pair of truly wireless earbuds. And so here is a sample of the microphone with a crowd noise being played in the background. That way you kind of get an idea of what it would sound like if you took a call in public. Now, as far as the sound goes, because I'm gonna be honest here, I went into this expecting like an overly boomy, bass heavy sound, because that's always been my experience with House of Marley products. You can always tell that the focus is on the bass. And the surprising thing here is the focus was on the mids. And to be even more specific, the focus was directly on vocals. No matter what genre I listened to, and it didn't matter if it was male or female vocals, I always felt like the artist was right here in front of me. The mids are usually the frequency that gets looked over. The bass is usually the focus, or the treble is usually the focus, which the nice thing about these is they found a way to have a very nice balance. This is still boosted on all three frequencies, but the bass is very tight, it's very punchy. It's actually pretty accurate as to where, you know, other products of theirs in the past has always had like that very thick rumble to it. So it's really nice to see that they paid attention to cleaning these up. The treble is nowhere near bright or harsh. It is really balanced well with the mids. It's an overall very clean sound, surprisingly very detail-oriented sound. So the soundstage and the sound imaging actually feel like you're in a medium to large size room. It's not one of those where you feel like you're in a concert hall, but it still does a very good job of being able to kind of pinpoint where sounds and instruments are coming from. So for the $150 price tag, at least they paid a lot of attention to cleaning up their sound, because if this was an overly boomy, bass heavy sound, there's no way that I could recommend these. But for people that like a cleaner, detailed sound, and for people that just really pay a lot of attention to vocals, these are a special pair of truly wireless earbuds. Now, I do want to point out some of my concerns and some cons with these, because I think even though the case looks nice because of the material, it's one of those that I think over time is going to look dirty easily, or that fabric material will pick or tear. I still think that the IPX4 rating would have been nice to have it closer to IPX6. Maybe not necessarily waterproof, because that might affect the mic quality, but IPX4 to me is a little low. Now, the ear tips on these, not necessarily a huge deal because I always have so many other pairs of ear tips to choose from, but for some people that don't, knowing you're paying $150, that's going to be an issue, that the ear tips might not give you a good seal right out of the box. But outside of that, I think these are an absolutely great pair of truly wireless earbuds. I love the sound, I love the look. I do think price-wise, $150 is a little steep. I do understand that they use recycled materials. I also understand that they plant a tree for every product that they sell. So I get a little bit of the price padding, but I still would have felt a little more comfortable with these being somewhere between $100 to $120. I still think it's a great pair of truly wireless earbud that offers a unique sound signature. But guys, that's my review of the House of Marley Liberate Air. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.